The Class T production car racing arena has been spiced up with the addition of two brand new entrants. They are Minis. They come from the Mini Challenge in Germany, and they've entered our scene here with a bit of a bang. Certainly struggled a bit initially, but both cars, driven by Gavin Cronje and Lee Thompson, have now won races. And we've come to Midvaal to see what the fuss is all about. The Class T Mini has been one of the surprise packages of the 2012 season, despite some initial development issues, some related to having to fit a larger turbo under the local rules.
They come pre-built, very close to the South African spec, and you know, we run a common turbo in South Africa, so when it arrived that was the first upgrade, and we were allowed to run a limited slip diff. So there was a few upgrades that got done to the car over the first 4 races, which obviously has brought us to where we are today.
With the teething problems behind them, the Minis started showing good form, winning some races and certainly getting their rivals to sit up and take notice. Despite the small 1600cc engine, the bigger turbo means there's no shortage of power.
We're producing about 240 kilowatts on the front wheels, so I mean it's enough to raise your eyebrows, I think, and I mean it's made us competitive in the class.
With enough muscle and a limited slip diff to help put the power down, it's no surprise that the Minis are quick, while they're also smaller and therefore more agile than their bigger VW Golf and Ford Focus rivals. But there are also some drawbacks.
Naturally, the Mini is very light and nimble, and that makes it easier for us because it looks after the tyres a little bit better. But on hindsight, we really have it cut out for us because our engine is much smaller than our competitors that we've got in our class.
A big turbo and a small capacity engine translate into a lot of low-down lag because it takes a while for the turbo to spool up. As a result, driving the Mini requires a fair amount of preemptive throttle use, which is not always easy in the heat of battle. Of course, the smaller shape also means a shorter wheelbase and less overall stability.
I suppose that's the biggest thing, is the high-speed corners. The car's nervous. It moves around a lot, but I think that's the nature of production car racing. You know, it's a reasonably standard production car put on a racetrack with some extra bits and pieces, and it makes for an exciting experience in the car.
The stripped-out interior of the Class T Mini JCW confirms that this is a real racing machine, despite its production car origins. A beefy roll cage, lightweight racing seat and grippy steering wheel are key elements. Some of the standard switchgear has been retained, but a Motec display and management system allows a vital interface between car and driver. At last, it was my turn in the Mini. Not surprisingly, it feels very different to the road car, with a combination of turbo lag and unassisted brakes initially disconcerting. But once you get the hang of it, it's a real little bullet. Unfortunately, a technical issue cut short my session, but at least I'd got a good impression of what it's like to pilot the Class T Mini. My track session in the Castrol Class T Mini has come to somewhat of an abrupt end because of a mechanical malady, but at least I've had the chance to experience it in anger, and I have to tell you that compared to my road car, which currently is a Mini Coupe JCW, this is a completely different animal. First of all, because of the LS diff, it has tremendous amounts of grip and turn, and it really is great getting it to power in towards the apex rather than having to struggle with understeer, which is what you have with the JCW. Gets the power down really, really well. On the other hand, the brakes, which are unservoed here, need a lot of shove, very hard pedal, and a bit disconcerting, I have to say, initially. Of course, also this car runs a much bigger turbo because of the racing rules, so a fair amount of lag, and you almost have to get onto the power preemptively to get the turbo to spool up in time, which again takes a bit of practice. But the car feels a lot more sorted than I thought. Really is very flat, very taut, very predictable. A little bit of torque steer, but generally a lot of fun. And it's a pity I can't get in a couple of extra laps. After a slow start, the Class T Mini has now become a force to be reckoned with, and while the 2012 championship was never a viable target, the team is bullish about its chances in 2013.
Unfortunately, we started late in the season. I think if it wasn't for that, we would have pretty much had a good shot at the championship. Nevertheless, this is our development year, and so far we've just gotten improvement. So I think we stand a good chance of getting good results for next year.
The talk in the paddock is that the minis are going to get quicker and quicker with every race, and it's no wonder that they already have to carry more weight. But if I was driving anything else but a mini in 2013, I would be seriously worried, because these cars are out there to win. A big turbo, Motec management system and bespoke exhaust ensure that the Class T Mini JCW has a lot more power, while the suspension has been tweaked for racing conditions too. The result is a real adrenaline machine.